Hello, good afternoon. How are you on this fine Monday? Thank you so much. Levi is tired and a little annoyed that I'm talking, but that's okay. I am doing weekly lives to help runners get back from after injury, run after an injury, not have to wait weeks, months, hopefully not years, after getting injured and getting back running. So I pulled up a question from a Facebook group. If you're on Facebook and in the running groups, you have definitely seen people ask, what should I be doing to run after an injury? What, shoes should I be buying? What strength exercises should I be doing? What, X, Y, and Z. And you'll notice people give 50 different answers, 100 different answers. Depending on how many people are responding, you're going to see almost a different answer from every person who responds. And they're not wrong. I mean, maybe some of them are wrong. I'm sure some people are wrong. Sure, whatever. But it's not that most of them are wrong. It's just that what you don't know the back story. You don't know what's been going on for that person that made that one thing that they're telling you to do get them better. So you don't know what else they're doing. You don't know how long they've been dealing with the problem. You don't know what else they've been trying. It's usually the last thing that people did that they notice worked, and then that's what they tell other people to do. So for example, somebody might say, oh, you have knee pain, you need to do squats. When I worked on my strength, so when I worked on glute strength and hip strength and squats do that, when I worked on that, my knee pain went away. But what you don't know is what else had they been trying leading up to that. Maybe they're also adjusting their training routine, or maybe they are also using ice, or they're taking hot Epsom salt baths, or they go for a massage every week. You also don't know what exactly type of injury they have. Do they have the same type of injury as you? How long have they been dealing with it? So there are so many different things. So be careful going into those Facebook groups, asking the question, and then taking all of the advice. I'm not saying it's all wrong, but if something doesn't work for you, you try something and it doesn't help you get better, don't get too bummed out about it, because it may be that that thing worked for that person, but you're at a different phase of getting back to running than they are. Or they have also added X, Y, and Z, and you haven't added those things yet. Okay, so that's what these lives are about. So today I picked up an old post from somebody. Let's see if I can read this whole thing. Sorry, I have to migrate my phone. So I'm on both Instagram and Facebook, so I needed to migrate a little bit. Anyway, so this person says, hello runners, lately I've been finding that I get injured pretty easily, specifically my IT band. Most recently, I ran 9 miles in 2 days after not running at all for 5 days. But that still seems weird that I'm as injured as I am. I see some of you are able to run every day and don't seem to get injured. But I would like any pointers you have to avoid injury. I try to stretch, body squats and lunges, foam roll before running, and maybe I don't do it enough. I also wear a knee sleeve. So looking at this information, the way I look at it to pinpoint what is it that's causing or keeping you injured, not even causing you to be injured, but keeping you injured. Because there are a wide array of things that could be causing your injury. But in this case, let's talk about what's keeping you injured. So this woman took 5 days off from running. That's a very common treatment approach. Doctors will say, take a week off from running. So somebody will stop for 5 to 7 days and they'll take a week off from running. And then that's all the advice they get. So then somebody gets back into running and they get injured again, or it flares up, or maybe the pain never went quite away. Should they have rested longer? I don't know. Well, Levi's grumpy that I'm talking. Sorry, guys. So anyway, this person says, I ran 9 miles in 2 days after not running at all for 5 days. And specifically their IT band, is bothersome. So let's look at the whole picture to see what thing do we think it was that's keeping them injured. So strength, what kind of strength are they doing? So they're doing body squats and lunges. She actually calls that stretching. That's not considered stretching. Stretching is where you try and elongate the muscles. But she is doing body squats and lunges. Those are great exercises to do. That's unlikely to irritate the IT band this much. If it was going to be those things, it would be bothering her during those activities. That's usually how it works. Okay, so strength training. What is the cross training, the running training looking like? So all we know from this information is she took 5 days off from running and then she ran 9 miles in 2 days. Was that 1 mile and 8 mile runs? 1 mile one day, 8 miles the next day? Was that 4.5 and 4.5? Was it 5 and 4, 6 and 3, so on and so forth? So we don't know that information. And we also don't know how long or what the buildup was for probably about a month leading up to that. We also don't know how long she's been injured for. Is this brand new? Or has this been going on for a month, 6 months, 10 years? We don't know that information. We don't know anything about her shoes, but honestly, at this point, shoes are unlikely. It's very rare that shoes cause or keep somebody injured in this instance. You'll see a lot about shoes. I talk about it with my clients about what things to look for shoes to help overall support your body, but it's unlikely to be the only thing that's causing a problem. So we don't know anything about our shoes, but that's not really that important. Foam rolling before running, that's fine. What else is she doing as a warm up? Another thing we don't know, speaking of warm ups, we don't know at what point the pain happens. Does it happen immediately? Does it happen after a certain amount of running? So part of that with doing something for a warm up before the activity, before the run, for somebody who has pain within the first couple of miles and then it goes away, that's usually because they didn't warm up enough. So we need to look at what the timing of the pain is to know whether foam rolling before running is contributing to this pain. We also don't know what she's doing after the run. So we don't know what kind of actual stretches. She says she's stretching, but really she meant she's doing strength exercises. We don't know what kind of static stretching she's doing, quad stretch, hip flexor stretch, IT band stretch, which you really can't stretch the IT band. You stretch the muscles that it attaches to. But we don't know any of that. We don't know the cool down. We don't know, is she icing, using a massage gun in addition to foam rolling, going for massage, taking a hot Epsom salt bath, or maybe just using a heating pad on the area. So those are recovery type techniques that can help immediate pain levels to calm them down, decrease inflammation, decrease pain, decrease soreness to prevent pain in the future. All of these things are what I think about when somebody says, oh, I have some pain. Based on the information we do have, she's getting injured pretty easily, specifically the IT band. Most recently, I ran 9 miles in 2 days after not running for 5 days. So based on this information, she most likely went out running too far, too fast, or too far, too soon. We don't know her pace either. So this is where you start to dive in. So I don't recommend anybody do complete rest. If they need to rest for 5 days, absolutely fine. I recommend active rest. So you're still doing something, whether it be walking, riding a bike, some yoga, maybe some strength exercises that aren't bothersome. And then when you get back to the workout, when you get back to running, you have to ease back into it. Even if you've only taken 5 days off, then you still need to ease into it, especially if the pain isn't gone. Because if you go gung ho straight back into it, you're more likely to irritate that injury and more likely to make it worse. So easing back into it, and you've probably heard the 10% rule, but the 10% rule doesn't talk about getting back into running. The 10% rule talks about week over week how much more you should be running. So if you remember, I talked about a few minutes ago, I said, well, what did the month leading up to this look like? That's where the 10% rule comes into play.